Northwest Council of Governments did a study of all the towns in their region. In Washington, there's over 1,000 people who commute here to work.
People are moving away because really it doesn't make sense to live here. It's too expensive. And we're not going to change the food prices. We're not going to change the gasoline prices. We can, very reasonably, provide lower cost housing.
It's been clear over the past 10 years that there's a much greater need for rental housing than we supposed.
I think the average age is something like 60, and we need to attract young families or the town will die.
The state projections are, in 20 years, by 2040, the population is going to diminish by about 22% to 2,400 people. And the population right now is about 3,500.
People need to understand that in order to have a vibrant community, one needs to have a good variety of economic incomes in it. And we need to take care of the nurses and healthcare workers, etc.
The affordable rental housing is really the entry point for a lot of these young families. But it's also a place where kids who grew up here can come back and establish themselves. The fact is that the people who move here are doing the work that otherwise they might have to drive an hour to get here. And that's essential for the town. So it benefits the town and it benefits...
Yeah, and they're paying rent. They pay it not more than a third of their income, but that's the way you can live nowadays. You can't pay more than a third of your income.
Where are we going? I mean, because this is essentially becoming, not literally, but figuratively, it's a gated community. The population here is going to drop, as I said. The strain that's going to put on local government, as they're having difficulty finding volunteers now for the fire department, EMTs.
When I was looking out, I was watching people walk out to talk, go back to their homes, check their mailboxes. They tend to look out for each other. Kent Affordable Housing built this, South Common. It opened in 2003 with 24 units. We have a range of people from a newborn who was arrived just after the family arrived to live here, up to elderly, and they work all over town. Some of them are retired. The 4 acres here, they belong to the town. It's not on the road. The entry road was built. It wasn't doing anything but sitting here.
People who've lived here at Cougaman have moved on to the parcel program, been able to move into homeownership. Some have moved to Bonnybrook as they got older and needed a 1-story house. We've had a couple of high school valedictorians here. We've had members of the fire department. We've had people who work in the service trades. There are people who work as school staff. About as random as any other slice of Cornwall.
The new unit in the back has 2 two-bedroom and 2 3-bedroom units. Included in the folks who live there are some essential workers. There's teachers, there's a school bus driver, there are folks who work in retail, there's someone who works at Laban's, there's someone who works at one of the restaurants. We are really filling a need, I think, very much in the community. And many of those people would have to live, 45 an hour away.
At our town center rentals, we have people that are in the 20% of AMI, the 50% bracket, the 80% bracket, and then we have some unrestricted units. Department of Housing feels it's really important to have a variety of different income levels. The types of people that are in our rental units are everybody from teachers to some landscapers to a chef. Generally speaking, they're very much members of the community and have been members of the community for a long time, and they just need a little bit of assistance.
The moment I found out that I was going to be able to get the apartment at 4 Shepherd Road, it's a 1-level apartment, I really needed to be able to get into a space where I didn't have to do stairs and it was much easier for me to move. I had a lot of back issues. I really don't have the words to express how much they have helped me and how much I appreciate it. They were really able to work with me as far as how much I was making and what I could pay, and they were able to get my son and I into one of the apartments.
The 2 houses here, brand new. The farmhouse, we totally renovated. Everything in it is new. Windows, roof, all new mechanicals. The way we set this up is we own the land underneath this, and then we do a 99-year lease. We are responsible for, when the properties are resold, to see that they are resold to people meeting those same area median income levels. The ideal thing would be to find other houses like this that we could take the land and subdivide, but right now, the cheapest house in Washington is about $549,000. Typically there's around 70 to 80 houses on the market. Right now there's 24.
Where we are right now was built in the 1980s. It was very controversial. There were stinging letters written to the paper. It was not at all certain that people would be happy with it. In time, and it didn't take very long, it was understood to be essential and respected and enjoyed. I think the Holly Block, what we now call Holly Place, project will have the same fruitful impact for the town.
What I expect will happen from the Holly Block, we can name it, is that it will be built and it will add to the town. And I think that concern over adding more affordable housing will diminish, because people will be able to see what it does bring. And when their own kids are happily living there, I think that will diminish people's concern. And that's all I know about this, is that it's going to bring good to the community.
We are currently in the process of developing a project called Haystack Woods. This would be a home ownership community. We can hit the marks on energy efficiency and on durability. We're hoping that this net zero approach to this development will be attractive not only to people on a fixed income, but to younger folks who are starting a family, wanting to live in northwestern Connecticut, and really concerned about the overall cost of life up here, which is expensive.
There are solar panels at Stewart Farm on 8 of the 13 units. The first summer, their electric bills were $9.12 a month because the sun was out beautifully. I've given you all the upsides. The downside is there's not enough, because it takes 5 years to build a complex like this.
The good part is there are good people like Jocelyn and Maggie Cooley, who I work with up in Cornwall, and lots of other people, the back racks over in Kent. There are just lots of dedicated people that put not just their financial resources, but their time, which is more precious than anything, into meeting these needs.
The Cornwall Housing Corporation has benefited from the generosity of people in town, from the Cougamans, who gave the money that permitted the purchase of this lot 10 years ago, when we had to suddenly come up with the money to buy the lot on which Bonnie Brook stands. People were hugely supportive.
We've received a donation of another 4-acre parcel here in town, so we're hoping to move forward on another project fairly soon. Abraham Lincoln said, "Public sentiment is everything. With it, nothing can fail. Without it, nothing can succeed." And so the public sentiment has got to be accepting, here's the vision. After we've had town forums and discussions, all of you have had input. That we've got to implement, this plan that we've come up with to try and reach the goals that we set.
If you want to be able to go out to eat and have somebody wait your table, that person needs a place to live.
The way that affordable housing benefits a town like Salisbury is that it brings fresh life into the town.
I hope that the video will show people sort of the banality of affordable housing in our towns.
It's a real benefit to the town, but to the whole region. And every town needs it.
It's not charity, it's an investment. That's my top headline line.